This exercise is designed to kind of prime the glute for a running activity. This series of exercises is going to be to help with glute and hip flexor stiffness during running ideally, but most of us sit throughout the day, which causes this. So as we move through this movement, you'll see that I'm hinging my body straight forward and kind of and all of the movement is happening out of my hip here, and my left knee is actually still slightly bent. So all of the flexion's happening out of the hip joint, and then I come up in a nice and controlled movement, and the next tweak would be to then reach to the opposite side of my knee. So as you do that, you add another plane of movement. So if we pause it there, we've now loaded the left hip in all three dimensions with a sagittal load, a frontal load, and then a transverse load, which is what that right arm reaching to the outside of my left knee is doing. It's making my hips rotate to the left. So this is a great stretch to do. You can do it on your feet, but ideally to learn it, it's better to do this stretch on a knee to start with. So what you'll see is I'm reaching over my head, so I'm reaching up and back while drawing my hips forward. So my hands are going in this direction and my hips are going this way. So I'm driving in and out of that movement a couple times. And then the next piece to this would be as I reach to my right, my arm goes to the right, and my left hip goes to the left. And then it flips the other way as I go the opposite direction. Next part here, I'm rotating my body up and to the right. So I'm reaching up and to the right. So my hips are also turning to the right. And then there's the opposite of this, which would be rotating to the left. Here's the rotating to the right again, and then going back and rotating left. All this is stretching that right hip flexor and the groin on the down leg. But you do this on both sides, a couple passes on each. The last thing that I think would really help with most people that are having some hip pain with running is to prime the stabilizers. So what we're doing here is I'm standing next to a wall. My right foot is slightly bent, and I'm pushing into the wall with my left knee and my left hand. And that's going to create a little bit of tension in my right hip and also in my left hip. But you'd hold this position for about 30 seconds on both sides, and that will help with any hip stiffness and glute issues that you might be having from sitting too much at work. So these three exercises would be ideal for someone that is working most of the day and then wants to go for a run at the end of the day.